When most people think about being rich, they picture a number on a paycheck. 6 figures, maybe 7. But the real measure of wealth isn't income. It's net worth, the total value of what you own, minus what you owe. Because your salary pays the bills, your net worth buys freedom. And here's the part almost no one talks about. The level of wealth that puts you in the top 1% depends on your age. A 25-year-old millionaire and a 55-year-old millionaire are in completely different leagues. So today, we're breaking down what it actually takes to reach the top 1% by age, and what separates the few who get there from everyone else still trying to catch up. If you love learning how money really works, not just the flashy side, but the strategic side, make sure to hit subscribe right now, because this channel is built to help you think like the top 1%, no matter where you're starting from. So let's start with a truth that might surprise you. Section number 1, the illusion of rich. You probably know someone who looks rich. The person with the brand new car, designer clothes, and constant vacations on their feed. But if you could peek behind the curtain, you'd likely find something else. Debt, stress, and very little actual wealth. That's because most people confuse income with net worth. They believe that earning more money automatically means they're getting ahead. But real wealth isn't about what you make. It's about what you keep and what you grow. Here's the uncomfortable truth. You can earn $200,000 a year and still be broke if your lifestyle devours every paycheck. And you can earn $60,000 a year and quietly build a strong financial foundation if you invest early and live intentionally. The top 1% understand this better than anyone. They don't care about looking rich. They care about staying rich. Their wealth doesn't scream for attention. It compounds quietly through assets like businesses, real estate, and investments that pay them over time. So while most people are chasing status, the 1% are building freedom. And once you understand that difference, you stop measuring success by how expensive your life looks and start measuring it by how free your life feels. Next, let's look at what it actually takes to reach that 1%. Section number 2, the numbers by age, the reality check. The top 1% isn't one finish line. It shifts depending on your age and where you are in life. At 25, you don't need to be a millionaire. A net worth around $150,000 already places you near the top of your age group. That might sound modest, but it's a foundation that grows fast if you stay consistent. By your mid-30s, that number climbs to around $700,000. This is where compounding begins to pull serious weight. Your money starts working harder than you do. By your mid-40s, the gap widens dramatically. The top 1% hold around $2 to $3 million in net worth, while the average person is still juggling debt. The difference isn't luck, it's time, discipline, and patience. By 50 and beyond, the threshold often passes $5 million and keeps climbing with age. But here's the key idea. Every jump to the next level isn't about earning more. It's about starting earlier and letting compounding run its course. Section number 3. How the 1% builds wealth differently. The 1% don't grow rich overnight. They grow rich quietly. They play the long game. While most people spend every dollar they earn, the wealthy treat every dollar like an employee, one that should go out, work, and bring back more dollars. They rarely ask, "Can I afford this?" Instead, they ask, "Will this make me wealthier?" That small shift in thinking changes everything. They focus on cash flow, not appearance. A luxury car takes money out of your pocket every month, but a rental property or a dividend-paying investment puts money in. And most of them didn't start rich. They simply began early, stayed consistent, and resisted lifestyle creep. But it's effective. If you're thinking differently about money, you're already ahead of most people. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe, because this channel is built for people who want to think and grow like the 1%. Next, let's talk about the moment everything changes. The net worth level where money finally starts working for you. Section number 4. The turning point, when money starts working for you. There's a point on your financial journey when everything starts to shift. It doesn't happen suddenly. It builds quietly, month after month, until one day you realize your money is making more than you do. For most people, that moment happens somewhere between $200,000 and $500,000 in net worth. It's the stage where compound growth begins to outpace your own effort. At that level, Your investments, not your paycheck, become the real engine. Dividends, interest, and asset growth start adding tens of thousands of dollars a year to your net worth while you're sleeping. It's the financial version of momentum. This is why the first $100,000 is always the hardest, because it's built almost entirely from your own savings. But once you pass that mark, your money starts pulling its own weight. Each dollar you've invested begins creating more dollars, and those new dollars start compounding too. The truth is, life doesn't just feel easier after this point. It actually is. You breathe differently when your investments can pay for a few months of expenses or cover a major emergency. You make better decisions because they're not driven by panic or scarcity. That's the real turning point. Not when you stop working, but when you stop worrying. Next, let's look at how people who reach this stage think differently and why their mindset, more than their income, keeps them in the top 1%. Section number 5. The mindset shift of the 1%. Most people think wealth is about tactics, the right stock, the right business, the right timing. But for the top 1%, the real difference is mindset. They see money as a tool, not a trophy. Every dollar must have a purpose, either to grow, to create options, or to buy back time. They don't panic when the market drops. They prepare. They don't chase trends. They build systems. When others react emotionally, they think strategically. The wealthy know your thoughts shape your financial ceiling. If you believe money is scarce, you'll always act like it is. But if you believe it's something you can grow and manage, it eventually flows your way. And here's the best part. This mindset isn't reserved for the rich. You can train yourself to think this way starting today. It begins with curiosity, education, and surrounding yourself with ideas that challenge how you see money. Next, let's talk about what happens when that mindset pays off, when your wealth starts changing, not just your finances, but your everyday life. Section number 6, the lifestyle shift, when wealth changes how you live. Something subtle happens when your net worth climbs past a certain point, usually around $500,000 to $1 million. It's not about flashy cars or giant houses. It's quieter than that. You stop checking your bank account every week. You stop feeling that spike of anxiety when an unexpected expense shows up. You start realizing that money is no longer the main problem to solve. It's the tool you use to solve other problems. That's when life genuinely feels easier. You can take a trip without guilt, make a big purchase without panic, and say no to things that drain you, because you're no longer trapped by financial fear. At this stage, wealth becomes less about luxury and more about control. Control over your time, your work, and your energy. The 1% value peace more than possessions, and that's why they often seem so calm while others are constantly stressed. But don't mistake calm for complacency. They still plan, they still invest, and they still think decades ahead. They've just built a life where money supports their choices, not the other way around. Now, let's wrap this up with the final section, what all this means for you, and how to start moving toward your own life gets easier number. Section number 7, finding your own freedom number. Here's the truth. There's no single number that makes life easy for everyone. For some, it's $200,000. For others, it might be $1 million. The real freedom number depends on your lifestyle, your goals, and what enough truly means to you. But one thing is universal. The moment your money starts working harder than you do, life shifts. You stop feeling like you're chasing survival and start living with purpose. The path to that point isn't complicated. It's built on consistency. Spend less than you earn. Invest automatically. Avoid unnecessary debt. And most importantly, stay in the game long enough for compound growth to take over. If you remember nothing else, remember this. Wealth isn't about how much you make. It's about how long you let your money grow without interruption. The longer you stay invested, the easier life becomes. So start now, wherever you are, because one day you'll look at your balance and realize life really did get easier, quietly, patiently, almost without you noticing. If this video gave you clarity or motivation, make sure to subscribe, because here, we talk about money in a way that actually changes how you live, not just how much you earn. And if you enjoyed this one, check out our next video, 7 Signs You Can Retire Earlier Than You Think. It might just show you that your freedom number is closer than you realize.